welcome to
The Mental Moshpit.
I'm Hannah,
I'm Eric.
and today we're going to be talking about men's mental health.
Men's mental health.
That's been the actual theme or the topic to be talked about for June.
Yes. Where do we start?
Is this music extra long
It's
today?
loud, too.
Wow.
I mean, I like the track, but dang.
It's great. I just thought maybe I've just been so sucked into it. That... Well, how are you doing?
I am... It's been a week, man. Mm-hmm. Today's podcast, by the way, if you don't know, I'm Eric, the guitar player in As We Rise, and Hanna is the vocalist. And, wow, this has been a week. Mm-hmm. And this is a good episode. We're talking about men's mental health today.
This is going to be a little mini episode, a quickie. So, yeah, hang out with us.
If you don't like it, man up.
Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about some of that stuff. I mean, that's just not positive.
No.
That whole...
Be a man.
Be a man. What does that exactly mean? I think being a man involves having positive emotional health as well. And this whole sweep it under the rug, be a man, shut the fuck up about anything you need to talk about
Men can't have emotions.
Is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I just don't identify with people that have that outlook and want to perpetuate that same stance on men and what they mean to society and what they need to be in society in order to be considered a man's man.
Yeah, nobody can be tough all the time. Nobody should have to hold it all in.
Yeah, it's
Men
okay
have
not to be
emotions.
okay. Our whole first EP was titled "It's Okay," or "We Are Not Okay." Jesus, we're not okay.
There's parts in it that said it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, there's parts in this in. I'm not getting confused between the lyrics and our titles of stuff, I promise. Yeah, I am. But, I mean, that's a big topic to us. And men's mental health specifically is just not talked about. And I would even go a step further as to say that it's almost less of a cool thing in the metal segment. And that's a shame to me.
Yeah. That's why we're here to talk about it.
Yeah. So I have, a question to ask all of you, something thought-provoking. What is something that somebody has told you that made you not feel worthy of being a man? Because I can count a huge list of all kinds of things that have been said to me over the years, whether it's been freaking dumb people that feel the need to pick at other people in locker rooms, all the way out to recent shows. I mean, it's kind of incredible to me that kind of behavior is, I mean, I've always just operated off of the do unto others as you want done unto you. And I don't think that that's a good model of that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm going to look something up really fast.
Yeah. One thing that I find particularly draining in metal, to be exact on this, is the whole it's got to be hard or it's not cool. Because there are a lot of people that can identify with a lot of different musical tastes. And even some of the most incredibly heavy musicians, whether we're talking about Meshuggah or, I mean, there are so many heavy bands, Ginger. There are so many freaking absolutely Dying Fetus, heavy bands that have soft parts or really orchestrated parts that are not a piece of this just blast beats. And it doesn't make it pansy music. I just have never identified with that. Maybe it's because I grew up playing in orchestras and jazz bands and things of that nature, because I've always found it way more interesting when everything doesn't sound homogenized and exactly the same.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, me too. A little bit of depth in everything you do. It doesn't all have to sound the same.
That's a side comment on this conversation, but I think it particularly affects metal in a very negative way. This whole mentality of
Absolutely.
the man's man and it's just, I don't think that, I mean, we talk about wanting people to understand and, especially from a group of people that wants to dress different and acts different and listen to different things and maybe even have very unique hobbies in that realm that are darker. You're making this a giant turnoff to people and perpetuating that problem that people think we're cons and that we're not contributing members to society just by keeping that mentality. I call it the 1984 mentality. It's like, back in the 80s, before really the age of the computer and people being able to say, hey, that's bullshit. Stop it.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up with that negative bullshit and start treating people with respect, which I think is a fantastic movement. And I also think that it just really hasn't fully caught on with men treating other men that way. And I would even go as so far as to saying some women that don't treat men that way.
Definitely. Very interesting.
What do you got?
Well, because I looked it up because I was thinking about it with, like, it not being talked about as much, men's mental health. Like, what are the suicide percentages?
Jeez.
And
scary.
In 2022, men died by suicide 3.85 times more than women.
Holy crap.
So that's interesting to think about, just because
I had
there's
no idea it was that high.
Not as many resources. We're not trying to discount women's or trans health or anything else or mental health in that sense, but putting a key eye on men's mental health for this month or for this week, so we can really, if anybody wants to talk about it, we can be open about it rather than not feeling like you're not heard.
Yeah, if you're feeling alone, I mean, seriously, send the band page a message. I can't say that we'll answer it immediately, but it's, we're here. We're here to hang out, like, even at shows. Grab one of us and say, hey, I'm really not okay. I'm happy to talk with anybody. Micus would too. I feel like Dave would as well. Like,
me too.
Hanna, absolutely. Like, if you're feeling like you need a person, just know there are resources, whether they're physical people like us or they're online resources that you can find, which we are going to add it. It's not something we have currently, but we are going to add a mental health resources tab onto our website.
I'm slowly working on it.
Yep.
Slowly working.
Hanna's organized, but she can't clone herself. We still work regular jobs too.
Yeah,
so
but we have some cool ideas in the woodworks.
Yeah, we do.
Maybe we can hash out this weekend at the cabin.
We're going away this weekend because we
for mental health.
Needed it for mental health. I needed it. I really needed it.
We both needed it.
And honestly, I haven't been okay recently. I mean, I really have not been mentally okay recently. I have not been able to cope with some of the stress that has been going on personally. And I mean, it's nothing that you and I are, well, we're dealing with it together, obviously, but it's nothing between you and I. It's more in the realm of just life things and, operational habits of owning your own business. And it's just difficulties like that that make it very hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But there is one there. And even though I'm struggling with some of that stuff that I have going on, it's okay not to be okay. It really, truly is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
There's people out there for you. Other people are dealing with things probably similar, and maybe everybody can give each other advice on certain things. That's what I feel like we're even realizing, is we really wish somebody would have been like, dude, wake the fuck up.
Exactly.
Dude, you're doing this wrong. Yep. Or like, hey, I went through this. These are some things that could help you out.
Absolutely.
Nobody was there, and we didn't even know how to reach out. So sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you don't know where to look, but just being able to be open about it and not judge each other for situations we're going through or mistakes that were made for certain things. Like, I think people are just so tough on other people these days just because life's hard, and it's been taught to us now, which is
The internet
ridiculous.
doesn't make that better.
No, it's just a lot of negativity. So we got to be nice to each other, kind to each other, open to each other.
I'll urge you all to use the laugh react less and use the heart react more.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, laugh if it's funny and if it's actually good shit, but not in the sense of putting somebody down.
Something my parents were old when they had me, and then my grandmother was even older when she had my parents. So my grandmother grew up in a very different generation, grew up during after the 1919, influenza. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a massive, it was a pandemic, a bigger one than even, if you think of the relation to population versus how many people died and the resources, they didn't have modern technology and modern medicine the way that we do today. So it was a giant, shifting thing that happened to all those people. So they grew up very different. And I just grew up in a different generation. She said, I remember her telling me that we have to stick together, that we absolutely have to find a way to band together as people because life is hard enough. And she said, I will always try and look past negative things to focus. She's like, it doesn't mean I don't notice them and I don't know that they're there so I can keep an eye on them. She said, but I will only put effort into positive conversations and interactions with other people and positive movement in my own life towards the things I put an effort to. That's cool. And I will never forget that.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that incredible?
That's really cool. And to finish this out, I feel like really just give each other love. Give
Absolutely.
each other care.
I have 5 tips. We'll end on this. These are the 5 tips that I find personally helpful, extremely helpful to combating major anxiety, PTSD, problems with just, dealing with stress and, alleviating that, especially when you don't get to go and purge your, we've talked in previous episodes about the fuck it bucket. You just stick everything in there. It starts to stink and it's not a good place to be mentally. Everybody that comes up to you has to have that bucket in between you that you hold on to with all your shit that you haven't dealt with. And so number 1, I find is if you don't have the ability to go deal with that fuck it bucket, find a consistent schedule. And I'm looking at you waiters, waitresses, wait staff, I should say, and even creatives. I'm looking at you too, because this is super important. We like odd hours. We're night owls and things like that. But at least find some sort of, it could be just making a meal every day at the same time. Yeah. Or it could be going on a 2-block walk every day just to get out of what you are doing and the normal things and not sticking in a phone. Doom scrolling is not a part of that. So that's number 1. Number 2, take vitamins. Here in Colorado, we get 300 plus sunny days a year, and we do not get enough vitamin D. That could be an issue in of itself. I know people that I look at them and I go, oh, damn, I think they have a huge vitamin D deficiency. And it's something that could be easily changed with just adding some habitual additions to their meals.
Vitamin D and mental health literally tie in together.
Yes, it is very, very important. And then number 3, if you are spiraling, try and focus on your senses. Look at something that's in the room. Try and pick out a color. Try and pick out anything. It's 5 parts to this. You look at something, you listen to what you're listening to. So it could be like music, pick out an instrument, or if you hear voices or birds, whatever. And then you think about what you taste. It doesn't matter. Like you could literally say, gosh, I still taste the cherry energy drink I'm drinking right now, because we are. And then you think about what you smell. So if you smell just a little bit of, water in the air, just the mugginess that we have going on right now in Colorado, or it could be, the dogs don't smell very good. But you do all of these things until you finally grab your hand or whatever it is, or hold on to something near you and you feel it and you actually register like, wow, this is antique wood. This is ancient. You just doing those actions puts you in the here and now. So it really, really helps you just to be able to stop some of that spiraling that your brain is doing.
And then one more thing that I learned in integrative health school was pretty much, here's one you can do if you're just at home, is lay on the ground. If you're spiraling, take a deep breath, close your eyes, or if you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes, leave them open. But then do something called a body scan. Start at your feet and squeeze your feet as tight as you can. Move up your body. Squeeze your thighs, your calves. Keep on moving up your body. Squeeze every single part of your body. And then let go and relax it. And then keep going. Squeeze the next part of your body and relax it. Go all the way up so you squeeze your face even, and your forehead, and then your whole body together, and then let it go. And then take a deep breath and feel that you can feel in yourself again, in your body. It's pretty incredible.
Interesting. That's cool. What number was I on?
3. Now you're on 4.
So now I'm on 4. Number 4, I find that it is imperative that I have some sort of exercise. So days that we don't have to go on our long walks or whatever with the dogs, I need to either do jumping jacks or like literally I'll just run around the house with the dogs and play with them. It's good for them as well. But I need exercise in some form. And actually we do yoga. Yoga's awesome. Incredible. And for those dudes that think it's not cool and manly enough,
try yoga. It will blow your mind.
Try yoga. I'd love to see how flexible you are. One of the biggest yoga advocates is the guitar player for Teenage Bottle Rockets. Awesome punk band. If you've never checked them out, they're from Laramie, Wyoming, and he has a full yoga studio up there. So he's definitely bucked the perception of what's common, especially in Wyoming. And he's got a bunch of male people that actually come to his studio on a regular basis, and they're leveling up their body, their mind, their soul. Whole
and if
deal.
you're a musician, let me tell you, if you have a yoga mat, you can bring that on tour. You can bring that to a show with you. It will save your show. It will save your body afterwards. It will blow your mind. You might headbang too hard and you're like, oh, I'm just going to stretch beforehand, stretch after, and the impact is so much less on your body.
Yep. And for number 5, the most important, listen to some fucking music.
Woo!
And I'm serious. So, I mean, I have certain songs that are really important to me that have kept me going, and thinking of in the realm of even heavy songs, I think of like Imperium by Machine Head. That song, like if I've just been really frustrated or angry or I feel like I'm spiraling, that's a great song for me to just really, it's anthemic, or even getting into more of the metalcore side. I would go with something like Strength of the Mind by Killswitch Engage. That song kicks ass. It's incredibly personal about really hitting rock bottom and being able to help your mind adapt to dealing with that and trying to reposition your mind and gain focus again. And that's just an incredible song that's really helped me in a lot of different ways. So those are two suggestions I'd have. That's my list of top 5. Other than that, we hope you check out some As We Rise songs. Enjoy the rest of our episodes on our podcast. We've got a lot of other cool different topics coming up, and we may even do some guest speakers. We've been talking about that. So,
and take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself and take care of other people, please.
Yes, be nice.
Yeah, for the love of all, we appreciate it. Be nice, be kind.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.